Good day to you guys. This is again re-reviews coming back after a long not reviewing any Hot Toys figure with a very surprising Moff Gideon from the second season of uh, I'm gonna say Mandarin. Mandalorian. I meant Mandalorian. So this figure has a story to it why I got it because I never intended to get it. But since it's here, I even forgot I pre-ordered it. And look at Moff in his Mandalorian Beskar armor. Mandalorian inspired rather Beskar armor. Let us see what's inside. As usual, Star Wars box. Star Wars boxes from Hot Toys are very consistent. They rarely they rarely turn into anything else but just this standard thing, which is, I admire the consistency. So this is the figure itself, which of course I'm not going to use the head sculpt because I don't want to use Gus Spring. And along with the other companion figures, the Red Guards, but of course I'm not going to get it. I never had plans to get anyone beyond, aside from Mandalorian, Dinjarin. But yeah, this is here. And let us get everything out. Apparently, it has a lot of stuff. Nope, this is everything. The back is just a cape, and everything's laid out here. So, let's see. Okay, and we're back. Everything is laid out in front of you. And to preface this, I'd like to correct myself that this came from The Mandalorian Season 3. And I hated Season 3. God. The Mandalorian show for me was supposed like to be the great big hope, the big comeback. It was it was like it was supposed to make Star Wars good again without including the old characters. It was supposed to be independent from Star Wars, but still connected with this to the same universe. But you see, I'm ranting now because I hated season 3, and true enough, Moff Gideon, the figure, I mean, it's good and all. Sculpt is good. I mean, Hot Toys usually nails this old people sculpts. And I forgot the name of the actor. He played Gus Fring in Breaking Bad. And this is a really, nice head sculpt of him. So kudos to that. As for the costume itself, it was, it's Beskar inspired, but it's too much of an Imperial Darth Vader to me. And I'm not a super big fan of the Star Wars, design language. I like it for its significance. I like some of the characters, but in general, I'm not a big fan of the design. So this is too black Imperial Stormtrooper, Darth Vader risk design language for me. So I found it boring. I do like though the helmet, which of course I think I'm gonna put on now. I don't know. I'm not sure how you put it on. Yeah, it's supposed to light up, I guess. And yeah, so you put it on like that. So it's very easy. I thought I had to remove the neck peg, but yeah, so let's just put it on because we're finished like admiring the head sculpt of Gus Fring and all. So very simple. I would even say uninspired figure, because this figure came out of the, what do I call that? What I call it the Hot Toys, like what do you call that? The Black period, the Hot Toys downward period, because Hot Toys was going up and up until the Marvel Infinity War Endgame era, and then they overproduced stuff, and then the Marvel thing died down. So Hot Toys took a big dive, in terms of interest. So the quality of their figures during this time is just so uninspired. If you check out my latest and my last unboxings, I got all of those from the Hot Toys Black era. So they were really boring, really. I mean, look at that. So the good thing is Okay, I'm gonna talk about the figure first before I start like telling you the story of what how I ended up getting it. So yeah, it's okay. As you can say, I'm not interested with it, and I really wouldn't have bought it. Okay, this is something I would have never bought, but I made a mistake. I made a mistake because our comic shop had some like very unrealistic like demands on how how I could purchase an Anakin artisan figure. So might as well tell you that story because it's no secret that I really am not liking this figure. I also can't figure out how to show it better with this lighting because it is so dark. It's so black. I mean, it's a good thing. If the show was good, I would have loved this figure. If Moff Gideon went to his full potential, I would have liked this figure. To be honest, I'm not even sure if this is a Beskar spear or something, and whether this has some attachment or what. Yeah, I think this is like the short version, and he can like turn it into this weapon version. This is like the portable version, the holstered version, and this is like the full version. And a Mandalorian jetpack, which of course I owned the Mandalorian figure, and this was always a bitch to put on. Luckily though, this snaps on easy, but there's the cape, so I don't know. Maybe I should take off the cape before putting this on, because it really looks weird. Yeah, I think you should take off the cape before putting this on. So let's not put this on. I mean, I'm not even sure if I'm going to display this figure or just put it back in the box. So it has some Mandalorian fire effects, and it has some like dark force, Palpatine like. I Moff Gideon is not supposed to be a force user, so I really forgot why this is there. So yeah, the booster effects. Don't know if they go into the jetpack. Yeah, it does go into the jetpack. It slots there. Yeah, so at least I still have my basics, and the fire effect is basically in the wrist, and I don't know how to slot it. Okay, and this blaster, standard issue Imperial blaster, I think goes here. Okay, easy enough. I don't know why this doesn't stick there. So at least the figure is very functional. If I don't know anyone who sort of liked the character of how Moff Gideon ended up being such a generic villain after a very good setup in season 1 and a very good, fight scene in season 2. And this is a harpoon, Mandalorian harpoon. Okay, so story time. How did I end up getting this figure? So Fail Bars, they were the only distributor here in the Hot Toys here in the Philippines. I'll try to pop up the camera because I'm talking. So they're the only distributor here in the Philippines. And one of their conditions for getting the artisan Anakin figure, which what I really wanted, was for you to have a pre-order of Star Wars. So I hurriedly went to their website because I never ordered anything from Philbars because it was at that time the gold rush age of Hot Toys where it's silly to pre-order a figure because when it's released the prices usually drop down because of overproduction. The thing is, that was a thing that was slowly going out. So you needed to pre-order again. So what happened was, since the only way I could get an Anakin from Philbars, an artisan Anakin, was for me to pre-order a Star Wars figure. So I browsed through their catalog, and there were only very few Star Wars figure, and one of them was the Blurg, Mandalorian Blurg. Of course, I didn't want to commit that much space and money to something that I'm lukewarm about. So this was the cheapest guy that I could pre-order there. So I clicked pre-order. So yeah, I pre-ordered it. I was happy. I was gonna get a slot for the Anakin figure. Turns out You can only get as an Anakin figure if you pre-ordered like 2 months before their announcement. So okay, that was kind of stupid, because how would I have known that they would release an artisan Anakin figure, which I really wanted, and didn't want anything from Star Wars, during that time period. So they did that, and then I was like, oh my god, I'm stuck with a stupid Moff Gideon figure. So I called them, I told them, I am not sure, but I did not read your instructions clearly. So I ended up ordering this guy that I have no interest about, because Mandalorian Season 3 was just beyond bad, man. Don't get me started on it. And they said, sorry guy, we cannot cancel your pre-order. So I couldn't help that I was sort of still a bit responsible for it, for not reading the instructions as well. So yeah, I accepted my fate, and just last month, they called me to say that this figure arrived. And true enough, it did. It did arrive. I have zero interest with it, so it sat in here for like 3 weeks, 2 weeks or something, before I decided to do this unboxing. So yeah, you can tell. This is like a figure I never wanted to own. And you're gonna ask me, why don't you resell it? Fact is, I just don't wanna deal with shipping, with low ballers, with shipping this below retail, only for that person to resell it. Because here in the Philippines, I don't fucking trust our market, man. If people get something cheap, they're gonna resell it. And I just don't want to contribute to that fucking economy, because I hate that fucking economy, man. I hate it that our collecting sphere here is full of resellers. Nobody collects, everybody resells. And while no one is buying it, that's their collection. So I'm just so annoyed that there's no one, barely anyone, who collects here. Everybody just resells, who just ends up with a collection because they cannot sell whatever it is they have in their stock, and whatever it is that's not selling, they are being used as their collection. So I didn't want to resell this, and I am certainly not gonna sell this for retail, because aside from a very, 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 very few of you, I know some of you watch it because most of you viewers here are from the US, and you have very, very wide interests. I come to find out that you have very wide interests and opinions, which I appreciate. And yeah, I mean, hit me up in the comments if you guys like this, because it is in my perception that nobody likes this figure. Nobody like Mandalorian Season 3. As a matter of fact, I think Mandalorian Season 3 destroyed whatever hope we had for Star Wars. Star Wars was going to be good again, and it's not going to be connected to the old, our old friends, Luke Skywalker, Han Solo, those old guys. It's going to have a universe that's independent from them, or not directly tied to them. It all went away with Season 2, Mandalorian Season 2, when Luke Skywalker showed up and Boba Fett was there. So yeah, and all of those hopes started to, get away. And then when Season 3 came, oh my god, it just destroyed Mandalorian. I have nothing but bad memories of Mandalorian. And as a collector, there's more than the mechanics of a figure. Yes, this figure, for example, performs great mechanically. Everything works. It's not like that crappy Iron Man I had, right? It works, stuff. It looks cool. Yeah, I mean, still a bit Darth Vader-esque. Mandalorian Darth Vader or something. But it looks cool. Looks threatening, looks scary, looks badass, Let's make him come up with a slightly walking pose. Yeah. So kind of looks badass and stuff. But as a collector, a lot of it is tied to your memories of the character. what you remember, what you enjoy, stuff like that. And this just reminds me of a show that was once good turning into shit, and this character showing up was just like the most, plot twist just to give the show some sort of a callback villain. So yeah, the show really sucked. I barely remember the weapons or the details. I don't even know why he has the hilt of the dark saber but doesn't have the dark saber, right? Like, I mean, if you're gonna put on the hilt, might as well give us the blade, right? Like, what the hell? Where's the blade of this? So, just like Hot Toys, feeling very uninspired when they released this figure. You can, I can also feel that. I feel the same way that this figure is just too uninspired, too boring, too, and yeah, and I can even resell it. And a few years from now, nobody would remember this character. Nobody would want this character because it's such a forgettable, generic villain character. He started out cool, but season 2 didn't give him that much justice. His combat scene was like, what? That was it? That was, yeah. Even though I love Mandalorian season 2, I can't deny it. But I got suckered into that Luke Skywalker showing up. It wasn't supposed to be like that, but just a fanboy. But I also felt that it was when it was Hot Toys was starting to, no, rather not Hot Toys, but Star Wars was getting headed into a bad direction, similar to The Force Awakens, where everything is, they're just gonna capitalize on nostalgia and stuff. So this review is more of a rant. It's not really a review. But, you can see the figure. It's so black. It's so onyx. It disappears for the most part because this background is black and all. Yeah, it's hard to show on video. The top cam can show it better a bit because it's in contrast to this green mouse pad I have. Yeah. So, other than that, this era when this was released was like the saddest moments for Hot Toys. This is like the dark era, the dark ages of Hot Toys. Most of the figures released at this time were cheap, uninspired, a bit boring. But I have high hopes. The previews for Hot Toys of the next coming figures are very beautiful. I just made a pre-order for Jinx and X-23 from the Deadpool Wolverine movie. So I'm excited with those pre-orders, which we are gonna see next year. So for now, I don't know if I still have some Dark Ages Black Toys, Hot Toys coming. But yeah, you won't see me as often because I've been buying less and less Hot Toys. Running out of space, and the figures and the shows are uninspiring. Having said that, I hope you learned something off my rant. And despite it all, I still wish you guys to have a very nice day.
They try to put me down, they try to stop me now.